When looking at admissions data from the University of Cambridge, many applicants want to know the success rates of the course that they're applying to. This is essential data to be aware of, but it's only half of the story at the university. Alongside course data, Cambridge also publishes the data for all 29 undergraduate colleges at the university, and that's what we're going to look at today. In 2025, which colleges were the biggest, the smallest, the most, and the least competitive? Let's find out. So we know that the University of Cambridge as a whole had an offer rate of 22% and an acceptance rate of 16%. When looking at the different courses at Cambridge, these success rates can vary greatly, going from 7% all the way to 67%. It's crucial to know how competitive the course is going to be before you actually apply. But is the same true for colleges? While the 29 colleges at Cambridge don't have quite as much variance in their success rates, there are still some that are definitely more competitive than others. As well as this, the size of colleges can be very different, and some colleges excel more in certain subject fields with bigger class sizes and more resources dedicated to them. Let's start by looking at the biggest and smallest colleges in terms of students admitted in 2025. The top 5 biggest colleges are as follows: Girton with 153 students, Gonville and Keys with 169, St John's with 179, Homerton with 197, and Trinity, which has 201 students admitted. This isn't the same as the list of colleges with the most applicants, and Churchill College gave out a few more offers than Girton. The smallest colleges all have over 100 fewer students than Trinity College. The biggest of these is Corpus Christi with 91, followed by Peterhouse at 88, St Edmunds at 73, Hughes Hall at 55, and Wolfson with just 50 students. These last 3 are typically the smallest colleges, as they're all exclusively for mature students, those over 21 years old. The majority of undergraduate applicants are school leavers, and all colleges do accept mature applicants, which means that these 3 colleges are very niche. In terms of applications, the only change in the list is Murray Edwards replacing Corpus Christi, as it received 511 applications versus 562. This is one of 2 women-only colleges at Cambridge, which explains the lower applicant count. Now, let's move on from student counts and focus on the competitiveness of these colleges. The most popular colleges aren't necessarily the most competitive, and vice versa. So let's see which colleges had the highest and lowest success rates. Let's consider the offer rate, as this is where the main challenge lies for most applicants. In 5th place is Downing College, which had an offer rate of 18%. Applications were down from the previous year, while more offers were sent out, meaning that the college was even more competitive in 2024. In fact, it had the lowest offer rate of any Cambridge college that year. Next, we have Clare College with a 17.5% offer rate. This offer rate was just slightly lower than Downing, though its acceptance rate was over 1% lower. The 2 colleges actually received the exact same number of applicants in 2025, with Clare College sending out just 1 less offer and admitting 9 less students. Another college with a very similar offer rate is Pembroke, with a 17% offer rate. Pembroke's acceptance rate was even lower than Clare's, although the college did have 30 more applicants. In fact, Pembroke had the lowest acceptance rate of 2025 at 13%, so this may arguably be the most competitive college overall. With just a 0.1% lower offer rate, we have Emmanuel College. This college's acceptance rate was exactly the same as Downing, meaning that Clare and Pembroke could ultimately be considered more competitive to get into. However, the most competitive college is a fair bit lower than this. Jesus College had an offer rate of just 15.5%, the lowest of any college in 2025. Its acceptance rate was 13.5%, so it wasn't as difficult to get accepted as some other colleges. Only 2 of these colleges were among the most popular for applicants, with Trinity, St John's, and Gonville and Keys all receiving more applications this year. However, as their success rates were a fair bit higher, it just goes to show that the most popular colleges aren't always the most competitive. But what about the least competitive colleges? Well, let's first take a look at Wolfson College again, as it had an offer rate of 30% in 2025. It also had the second highest acceptance rate of any college at 24%, meaning that its size hasn't made it the most competitive. Girton is next with a 31% offer rate. While it's not really a big college, it's the biggest one among the least competitive colleges. We then have Hughes Hall, another one of the smallest colleges at the university. It had an offer rate of just 0.1% higher than Girton, despite receiving roughly a third of its applicants. Its acceptance rate was also 0.1% higher, so these 2 are almost identical in terms of odds. Murray Edwards comes in second with a 33% offer rate. Its acceptance rate was lower than the previous colleges, and the college actually saw a significant drop in success rates compared to 2024. But finally, we have St Edmund's College, with an offer rate of 42% and an acceptance rate of 29%. These were the highest success rates at Cambridge in 2025, making this the least competitive college at the university. However, it's important to consider that 4 out of 5 of these colleges are restricted in terms of the students that they actually accept. As we already saw, 3 of these colleges are exclusively for mature students and 1 is a woman-only college. This means that applicants that they receive are already narrowed down somewhat, so those who are eligible to apply have a better chance of finding success, especially for the mature colleges. Applying to any of these colleges doesn't necessarily mean that your chance of getting into Cambridge goes up though. It just means that the students who are eligible for these colleges will have a better chance of getting into them versus the unrestricted colleges, which typically have more applicants. It's also worth noting that these colleges have a higher proportion of both open applications and winter pool offers, meaning that a lot of the students who are actually accepted at these colleges in the end didn't directly apply to them in the first place. Throughout the whole cohort, 2,135 open applications were received in 2025, with 307 offers being made to those applicants. Between this and the winter pool process, there's an awful lot more that we can learn about the Cambridge college admissions process, all of which we plan to do in future videos. For now though, we'll leave it there. While this data is useful to know for your application, success rates shouldn't really be the deciding factor for your college choice. There are many different preferences to consider, like college location, the ethos, the atmosphere, facilities, and much, much more. You need to do your research, attend an open day, and make a choice based on what you want out of your Cambridge experience. However, if you do want to see the 2025 admission statistics for all Cambridge colleges, stick around to see the full list here. Remember to subscribe for more on Cambridge, and good luck with your application.